What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well today. Back again with another video on the Before the Billions channel and also going live on LinkedIn. So it's 2 days in a row. Been going live on LinkedIn. Hopefully it opens up a few more audience members, not only on LinkedIn, but then also on YouTube as well. And today we're going to be discussing some comments that I listened to the other day from Dave Ramsey, where he's talking about AI. Particularly, he's saying, is AI, or he's asking the question, is AI going to put you out of business or ruin your business? Right? So it's the question that he's asking. If you guys don't know who Dave Ramsey is, he is a financial expert, right? Like you can call him a financial expert that talks on different podcasts, writes books. I actually have one of his books, and I'll show you guys in a second. It's over here on my bookcase. But he has a very large audience, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, this would be a good topic to talk about on the channel. And I know that AI is one of those trending topics. I've been having a few AI talks and live streams recently, so I think it would be pretty interesting for people who run a business, use AI, and or maybe just interested in AI in general, or people who are just interested in hearing what Dave Ramsey has to say, or my opinion on it. So first, before we get into everything, I want to give a huge shout out to all the people who are watching the live stream right now, and also all the people who are watching the replay. Really do appreciate you guys for tuning in. So I will go ahead and play the video that I saw, and we can give our thoughts on it. So let me get my headphones right quick, and then share my screen. Here we go.
So is AI going to put you out of business? Yeah, if you're a victim. But if you're a victor, like Uncle Johnny, you're going to figure out a way that AI makes you more money than you ever made in your whole life, because you're going to serve more people than you ever served in your whole life. So don't sit around, suck your thumb, and answer Fox Business surveys and say you're going out of business because somebody invented a great new technology and a couple of pirates are misusing it. There's some awesome things you can do with this. I don't know what all it's going to do. I can tell you this, it's already a pain in the butt, and it's already a huge blessing. Welcome to market disruptions. Welcome to new technologies. When I started all of this, the internet hadn't been invented. We had to box up what we were saying on things called cassette tapes and mail them to you. We were piping in sunshine. We didn't have any.
All right, so that's just a short clip of what Dave was saying. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments or in the chat right quick. Also, put a 1 in the chat if you're able to hear the video that I just played. But overall, what he's saying is that it is a gift and it also occurs at the same time, because AI has a lot of great capabilities, and then also there are a lot of people who misuse AI, right? So some things that we brought up in our previous live streams talking about AI, which is the fact that we are able to do predictions for healthcare issues, or predicting cancer, predicting the weather, generative AI, where we're like businesses can benefit from using generative AI, such as like a ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Claude, but then also generative AI in the sense of creating logos. So you have a plethora of different things that generative AI can do for you. It can even write you reports, or change the wording on the copyright that you have on your or the copy that you have on your website. So there's a lot of different things that AI can do in a good sense, but then in a bad way, it has led to people who want to scam using AI to create images of fake people. And like you can see right now, like if you are on LinkedIn, there are a lot of fake accounts with people saying, hey, I have a job opportunity for you. And it's not actually a person, right? So people who are really looking for a job, like they are saying, hey, I'm not getting any opportunities, looking for a job right now. And a lot of scammers are using AI and using the social media platforms to be able to get money out of people or get information out of people. It is essentially social engineering, right? So you don't necessarily need to hack anything. You can just ask somebody for the information and they'll give it to you. But yeah, let's see. So there was an article I wanted to bring up as well, also relating to what Dave Ramsey said. And this is, I have not looked at MSN in forever. MSN, since I was like a kid. When's the last time that you looked at MSN? But let me zoom in a little bit. So this article is new. It just came out. Also talking about Dave Ramsey, but he does make so he made the point about business, but then also we can talk about like retirement and Social Security. This also is another piece that he was talking about that also somewhat relates to putting people out of business, which is, and some of the reasons why it relates is because you're seeing a lot of jobs being automated out. And we looked at that, like in our previous video, we talked about AI's effect on high mobility jobs and entry level jobs, the starter jobs, and then also the target jobs. All right, so those are three different types of jobs that you can expect to be automated, but the target jobs, the high paying ones, are going to be ones that you will see a lot of people like gearing towards more so. Like you're going to see a lot more people having success getting those target jobs that pay really well, like $80,000+ a year, good benefits. Like a lot of the jobs that fall under that will be STEM jobs in the STEM fields, like coding and jobs that don't necessarily require a 4-year degree, which is the high mobility jobs, but they pay extremely well and have a lot of benefits. Having a job that pays extremely well feeds directly into your retirement and your Social Security. All right, same thing with a business, right? Like, are you actually utilizing AI to its fullest capacity in order to be able to build up your business? But let's see what Dave Ramsey has to say about this. All right, so it says navigating. Oh, and also before I move on, I'm gonna put the call-in link in the chat. There we go. So if you want to call in, you'll see it on YouTube, but not on LinkedIn. But if you click on this link that's in the chat and on YouTube, it'll take you to StreamYard, and you can join me on live and give your insight or your thoughts on this. And I have it shown up on the screen right now if you are on LinkedIn and are not able to see that comment. Okay, so you can just like copy that in or type it in, and you'll be able to join me on the stage. All right. So let's move on. So we have Dave Ramsey sounds alarm on Social Security. Navigating the transition from a steady paycheck to retirement can be daunting for American workers. Financial concerns weigh heavily during this period, as Social Security benefits alone often fall short of covering living expenses comfortably. Many retirees rely on their savings and investments, such as 401ks and IRAs, individual retirement accounts, to bridge the gaps and ensure financial stability. So that's what everybody talks about. This is more so going to be affecting like the older workforce, the older people, and I believe that you have to be 65 years old in the United States in order to claim your retirement. He's either 62 or 65. Yeah, 65 years old. So, but I wonder what that's going to mean for the younger people. Like, is Social Security still going to be around? And we already see what's going on in the economy right now with the government and Social Security and the IRS, where a lot of people are getting laid off and things are changing. So, a lot of the things that you may see in the news may be affecting you on your day-to-day basis. So it says Dave Ramsey, the personal finance author and radio host, offers one strategy that helps ease the transition for some. His idea allows retirees to maintain a sense of purpose, supplement their income, and adjust to their new lifestyle more gradually. One major concern for retirees, Ramsey explains, is the cost of healthcare. So we brought up healthcare in our previous live stream where we were talking about how AI is taking over healthcare. All right, like they're using so many different things with artificial intelligence and trying to make things better, right? But then also it does beg the question of how are we protecting that data that AI is collecting, right? So it's not just the AI model itself. You also have to understand that the data behind it is extremely valuable and important, right? Like, how are you protecting that information? Medicare becomes available at age 65, but it doesn't cover all medical expenses, leaving retirees to handle additional costs on their own. Long-term care, which includes assistance with daily activities such as dressing and eating, is one area where individuals must seek independent insurance coverage. However, Medicare does provide coverage for short-term hospital stays and hospice care. Hospice care means that you're not going to be here for much longer, unfortunately. Right? You're just getting prepared to move on. But yeah, so there's this video right here. I wanted to view not the whole thing, but just some of it. Let's see. Oh, there's no audio. There we go.
Good.
All right. For some reason, this is not playing. Shout out to the Hawk TV. Appreciate you for tuning in. I am trying to see why this video is not playing.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Retirement Report.
Okay, when you play it full screen, it doesn't play.
I'm Hank Parrott, your host. All right, I've been talking to you about Social Security, and like I say, we've got an upcoming workshop. It's on June 11th. That's this coming Tuesday, June 11th at 11 a.m. from 11 to 1 typically. I will stick around, though, to answer questions. So the program itself, typically about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half maybe, and then the rest is just for time will be spent with questions and answers, just to make sure. And like I said, I'll hang out.
Hold on a second, because he's talking about something completely different.
Never be taxed. All right. However, what happened is the more and more people came onto the rolls of Social Security, fewer workers paying in, basically it started to run out of money. And of course, Congress getting their fingers into it didn't help. Social Security first became taxable, as I mentioned, under President Reagan back in 19...
All right, so I think this may not be the best video to watch. He's kind of, I have not watched it myself yet, but he's kind of talking about something completely different from what I'm trying to talk about. So let me just go ahead and move on to this Business Insider this Business Insider article about how AI is coming for the big four. Okay, so going back into the business side, we talked about healthcare and Social Security, how that's going to be affected by AI, how it affects not only people who are working 9 to 5s, but then also people who are business owners as well when they're talking about retirement. All right, so let's see. AI is coming for the big four too. The big four dominate the professional services industry. AI may disrupt not just job roles, but also their organizational business and pricing structures. Meanwhile, some mid-sized firms say they're better placed to adapt quickly and benefit from AI. The Big Four, which is Deloitte, PwC, so PwC stands for Price Water Cooper, Ernst & Young or EY, and KPMG. I'm not certain what KPMG stands for. They got me stumped on that one. But they are a select and powerful few. They dominate the professional services industry and have done so for decades. In our previous live stream, we were looking at McKinsey & Company, which is another consulting firm. It's not the Big Four, but it is another big consulting firm that came out with that article about how AI is affecting high mobility jobs. But it says, but all empires fall eventually. I don't think these companies are going to fall or fail at any time soon, right? At least not anytime soon. These are very large companies. They are essentially in every single thing. All right, there's consultants everywhere, especially from these big four. It's hard to get into them, but they are involved in so many different organizations and industries, right? So you're talking about finance, you're talking about technology, you're talking about healthcare. The consultants are from these big four are ingrained in everything. It says, let's see. Large corporations tend to merge, transform, or get replaced by the latest wave of innovative upstarts, very similar to Blockbuster and Netflix. It's hard to see that time coming for the big four, with huge revenues, international reach, vast workforces, and numerous service offerings. They're indispensable for many corporations, right? Yet AI could be poised to disrupt their business models, organizational structure, and employees' day-to-day roles, while driving opportunities for the mid-market. Automation is coming, right? And we talked about it. A lot of the jobs are going to get automated, right? So you're already seeing it. Whenever you go to a McDonald's, it used to be that you could go to McDonald's and get a whole meal for like $1, but now it's like I think they said it's like $15 for a meal, right? So it's not like, it's supposed to be fast food, but it's not fast anymore. It's not cheap, and the lines are still long, but like they're losing their competitive advantage of it being cheaper. And then also when you go up to McDonald's, you'll see that they will ask you for it'll be a robot that will speak to you and take your order. They even have like kiosks, and they have the least amount of employees there, right? Like they may have employees cooking the food, but I've even seen it where they have videos of where robots will cook the food. So, you may just have a person there to maybe make sure that the robots are doing the appropriate things. And I gave that example of when you go to a sushi place, like a revolving sushi spot, you'll notice that they'll have robots that will give you your order, and then they just have a person maybe try and correct it if it runs into something. I may pull up a video of that, actually. Matter of fact, I might as well do it right now. Because I want you guys to see it. Yeah, I think that will be pretty interesting to see. So, here it is.
Rotating sushi bar where robots serve you food. Come with us to Kura Sushi, which is a restaurant that seems to be living way into the future. When we sat down, we selected our drinks from a touchscreen. A few minutes later, a robot came to our table with our drinks. We then started selecting sushi off the conveyor belt, which goes around the entire restaurant. You can also select any menu item from a touchscreen located at every table. I selected American Wagyu steak, and a few minutes later it came to our table on a separate conveyor belt. We then ordered several more things on the touchscreen that came to our table direct from the kitchen on the conveyor belt. The sushi was incredibly fresh and everything tasted really good. For dessert, we got ice cream that tastes just as good as it looked. When you're done with your plates, you put them in a slot that's located at every table. If you put 15 plates in the slot, the screen goes crazy and you get a prize. They also serve ramen, but we didn't get it this time around. If you're in the area around IKEA, I highly recommend going here. Columbus has a rotating sushi bar where robots...
Alright, so see where it says where robots serve you food?
Columbus has a rotating...
So I've been to Kura Sushi like several times. They have one they say Columbus. They have one in Buford, like Buford Highway, Buford, Georgia. And then they also have some in Midtown Atlanta as well. So if you're over there by Peachtree Corners, I think they also have a revolving sushi spot, but I don't know if it's called Kura. But they also have like the robot that comes and that serves you your food. But it was interesting how they had the robot there, and then they also had the kiosk.
Which is a restaurant that seems to be living...
They also have the kiosk. Let me turn off the audio. So you see, it gives you your drinks, and they have like the revolving sushi. They give you steak, and then you can just click on the touchscreen without anybody taking your order, and then it will give you your food. Right? So, and they'll just have like a person there to explain how the process goes. But everything is seamless. They have all the cooks in the back, and you can see them cooking, and then they have a person that is there to just kind of make sure everything runs smoothly. And the Hawks TV says, is this in Japan? I'm sure they do have it in Japan as well, but no, this is in Columbus, Georgia, which is like an hour drive down south from Atlanta, Georgia. So it is, and it's really close to Alabama as well. So you just take, I think if you just take Highway 85 or Interstate 85, then you can get to Columbus going down south. But yeah, so I mean, the sushi is good. The food here is good. You get good service, and you pretty much can eat as much as you want, right? You don't have to and then right here, like if you order something specific, right, then you have to pay. But they say they give you little prizes if you are able to eat 15 plates, which and they also don't like for you to like waste food either. That's another thing. So do not waste any food over there. Anyway, let me get back to this Business Insider article. Hawks TV says, okay, we have those in the DMV. For instance, you go to a Royal Farms gas station and order food or check out other items. Yeah. I never heard of Royal Farms, but they do have... Man, I don't know. If you ever have the chance to go to Buc-ee's, I would suggest, like, make the drive. Right? Because Buc-ee's is nowhere near over here. You either have to go super far down south, super far up north, or you had to go to Alabama from Atlanta. You have to go very far out the way to get to Buc-ee's. But it is a good experience. All right, so see. All right, automation is coming. The Big Four advise companies on how to navigate change, but they could be among the most vulnerable to AI themselves. This is coming from Alan Patton, who until recently was a partner in PwC's Financial Services Division, specializing in artificial intelligence and the cloud. Patton, now the CEO of, I have no idea how to pronounce this, Q-Day? I guess that's how you pronounce it. You know what? Let me see. There is a way. No. Okay. I was about to say there may be a way to make it pronounce the name for you, the word for you, but you would have to go to a text-to-speech reader, and it may or may not say the correct pronunciation. But I'm going to call it Q-Day. A Google Cloud Solutions consultancy told Business Insider he's a firm believer that AI-driven automation would bring major disruption to key service lines and drive a huge reduction in profits. That is interesting. What do they mean by that? Man. Oh, so if I go here, what do they mean by this? It says the Big Four bet on AI agents that can do all the work and liberate staff. So if they do all the work, then what's the purpose of having people there, right? Like, what is the purpose? I'm going to drop the call-in link one more time, too, before we continue. If you want to give your insight into this topic. But yeah, right, so I think just like how we said in the previous live stream, the article talking about how entry-level people will have it a harder time getting work because a lot of the jobs will be automated, right? So it's going to be really difficult for entry-level people, but there are a lot of companies being spun up that are trying to help entry-level people and people without degrees to be able to get STEM jobs or STEM careers. All right, so it says, where am I? There we go. Most structured, data-heavy tasks in, let me go here. Most structured, data-heavy tasks in audit, tax, and strategic advisory, Patton said, will be automated within the next 3 to 5 years, eliminating about 50% of roles. There are already examples of AI solutions capable of performing 90% of the audit process, he added. I wonder, what do you guys think about that? Are you going to start using AI to do your taxes for you? I mean, I believe they already do. I know a lot of people who work at like a TurboTax or like Intuit. There are, what is there? Cash App also has taxes. They actually bought Credit Karma. So Credit Karma used to have like a free tax service where you could do your taxes. In addition to, I think Credit Karma is owned by Intuit, but they sold that portion off, right? That they sold that tax service over to Cash App. So Cash App also has Cash App taxes, and you can do your taxes through them. And they use automation and AI to be able to parse through your previous tax return, and then also you can essentially do your taxes yourself if you don't have anything that's too complex or complicated. But yeah, so 90% of the audit process. I mean, that's why they are taking away a lot of the jobs from the IRS. I mean, maybe not this specifically, right? But because I know that there are some big changes with Doge, and they're trying to make things efficient. But I believe that AI is also a contributor to some of the things that you see. Right? It says you can do 90% of the audit process with an automated process. Patton said automation could mean clients increasingly question why they should pay consultants big money to give me an answer I can get instantaneously from a tool. That is a good point, but then also that's not going to work for like technical types of roles, right? If you have a very technical role, you could ask like a Chat GPT or Copilot, Gemini, whatever, right, to explain to you a specific problem simply, but it may be missing context. So you need a person there to ask questions. You're always going to need a person to ask questions. It's never going to be a point to where AI just knows how to do everything. It can answer any question. It can answer a lot of different questions, but sometimes it can be generalized, or you need to understand the problem itself. And if you don't understand the problem, like just like how people say, if you give it garbage data, you get garbage results out, right? Garbage in, garbage out. If you can't articulate the question in a certain way, then you can't get an instantaneous answer, or the answer may be incorrect, and you may be feeding incorrect answers to your business, right? So that is something that you really do also need, like, people there, right? So that's why you do need consultants. But I guess may not. I guess their point is that they may need consultants, but they may not need to pay them big money because they have AI to help. But I think consultants do still need big money because it is a high stress job. Unless they become far more specialized, the Big Four will be in trouble, he said. All right, so let's read this last part right here. It says others are less convinced AI will make consultants and accountants obsolete, arguing that AI will instead free up time and drive productivity. AI frees up consultants, but it will never replace them. So just that's the exact same thing I'm thinking. This is coming from Casey Foss, the chief commercial officer at the mid-sized firm West Monroe. Businesses will continue to require expertise as AI develops. It is not a set it and forget it solution, she said. There will always be a need for the human in the loop who can understand problems holistically and has the expertise of the gut feeling, she added. Right, that human element that you need. All right. All right, guys. So, that being said, I overall do not think that the Big Four is going to leave anytime soon. You will see a lot of changes. You'll see a lot of the current roles being automated, like I we said in the previous video. And with that being automated, you'll see a need for other types of jobs. This is why I am honing in on you all learning more about artificial intelligence and machine learning, right? So I think it is extremely important for you to at least understand it to a basic level, right? Because there are a lot of benefits to understanding it. And essentially, we talked about how even like there's a truck driver shortage right now, and now they're building out automated trucks and vehicles, right? So you are seeing companies shift, and they're saying, hey, well, if we have a shortage of people, we're just going to go ahead and automate it, especially things that can be automated. And you're going to see a lot of people struggling trying to figure out, going back to what Dave Ramsey said about, are you going to be a victim or are you going to be a victor? And learn more about how to use AI, right? Or at least start looking at some positions or different jobs or different business opportunities that may be trying to either fund people who are interested in AI or interested in learning more about it or understand it already. And then you'll see a lot more jobs that are hiring like AI engineers, right? Or prompt engineers. I've seen some positions actually for prompt engineering that asking AI different questions. So I think that you guys will, I think that everybody will benefit at least for understanding it. Overall, I think that things are going to get better though. New technology comes out every single day, and we should be prepared for it. That being said, guys, I appreciate you all for tuning in. Huge shout out to all the people who are watching the live stream right now and all the people who are watching the replay. Really do appreciate you all. Please stay tuned for some more live streams and some more content coming out on the Before the Billions channel. I appreciate you all. I will see you all in the next video. You could have been anywhere in the world but here with me, and I really do appreciate it.